It is February 2nd, 2014. MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey, the site of Super Bowl XLVIII. And the NFL could not have asked for a better matchup than this. In the AFC, Peyton Manning and the Denver Broncos enter this game coming off the greatest offensive season of all time, becoming the first team to score over 600 points in a year. They face their complete opposites in the Seattle Seahawks, who have the best defense of this year and one of the greatest defenses of all time with their Legion of Boom unit, led by Richard Sherman, Cam Chancellor, Earl Thomas, and others. This Seattle unit has shut down everybody in the NFC on the route to taking down San Francisco 2 weeks ago. This battle between offense and defense, which some people theorize could be the single greatest Super Bowl of all time, turned out to be, in my opinion, the best, worst Super Bowl ever. Denver starts off with the football, and with the crowd roaring on 1st and 10, Manning steps aside to audible. However, his center, Manny Ramirez, doesn't hear the play call and snaps it straight over Manning's head into the back of the end zone. And one play into the game, Seattle leads 2-0. Seattle then quickly marches down the field following Denver's safety punt, and from 31 yards out, Steven Hauschka puts the Seattle lead at 5. But a 5-point lead isn't much, given Denver's phenomenal offense this year. But 3 plays and 8 yards later, on 4th and 2, the Broncos punt. Seattle then takes 6 minutes to slowly grind their way within Denver's 10, but a holding call on Seattle's Max Unger knocks them back 10 yards, and they bring Hauschka back out to give him an 8-0 lead. On Denver's next possession, after a short 5-yard pass to Wes Welker on 1st down, Seattle almost blows the doors completely off the game when Chris Clemens knocks the ball out from Denver's running back Noshawn Moreno. Denver is ultimately able to recover, but on the very next play, Peyton Manning gifts Seattle the ball when a deep shot to Thomas is intercepted by Seattle safety Cam Chancellor. And a few plays later, Marshawn Lynch dives in from 1 yard out to put Seattle up 2 scores. Denver's offense finally gets going thanks to a couple Manning passes to Thomas and Welker get them into Seattle territory. Even down 15, if Denver's offense can get in stride and their defense can get one stop, they can tie this game up. On 3rd and 13 from the Seattle 35, Manning looks for Moreno and turns a Seattle 2-possession lead into a Seattle 3-possession lead, as Malcolm Smith sniffs out the pass, jumps the route, and takes it 70 yards the other way. Denver then immediately turns it over on downs, and Seattle runs the clock out to end the first half up 22-0. And to make things even worse for Denver, Seattle receives the opening kickoff of the second half. Matt Prater's kick takes an almighty hop off the ground, forcing Seattle return man Percy Harvin to wait a few seconds to pick it up, find a massive hole in the Denver special teams, crash through the gap, push Prater aside, and score a dagger kick return touchdown. And that would pretty much do it. A Denver fumble leads to another Seattle score. Late in the third, Manning finally gets the offense going with Demaryius Thomas punching it in to put Denver on the board. They go for 2 and get it. And that would be all they got. Russell Wilson, to start the fourth, would find Doug Baldwin to put Seattle on top 43-8, which after a couple of punts and another Denver fumble would be all she wrote. Seattle 43, Denver 8. A game that by all means should have been a slugfest between two of the best teams of the 2010s was a rout from the very beginning. Ultimately, both teams ended the era successfully, but not accomplishing as much as they could have. Seattle infamously lost the Super Bowl the next year after an interception on the goal line against New England. And the year after that, Denver got revenge from 2 years ago by taking down Carolina, not with their offense, but just like Seattle did with a terrific defense. And just a little bit more than a decade later, both teams sit as the 1 seed in their conference and a chance to rematch 2013 for a chance at the Lombardi yet again. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Slideshow Sports, and if you did, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for content just like this. This has been Slideshow Sports, and I will, as always, see you next time.